Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow Wrestling IQ 101 at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just use the @ at Wrestling IQ 101 across all platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And today, I'm sitting with Dr. Lawrence Zirconium. How's it going, man?
I'm doing fine. I can't wait for 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. Deep Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators returns, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely. I mean, DAWG, is it on the rise, man? We just, you have this big show coming up here. Can you tell people how they can get tickets, where they can find it on social media? I mean, this place is, if they don't know by now, they're just living under a rock, right?
Oh, of course. Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, South Jersey's #1 wrestling promotion, the fastest growing wrestling promotion in all of South Jersey, is going to return on Saturday night, May 25th, at the Max Fit Sports Center, located at 240 Delsea Drive South, in beautiful uptown Glassboro, New Jersey. We're going to have an amazing event. We titled this one King of the Monsters. It's going to be a 7:30 bell time, which probably means around 8, because you know how indies work, and tickets are only $15.
Absolutely. Talking about monsters for sure. I can't wait. You're going to have Chris Steeler in action, right? He's going to be taking on some pretty tough guys in that, right? Pretty tough guy.
Chris Steeler's taking on DGAT Bundles. Chris Steeler is part of the PTS faction along with Biggie Biggs and Kyle Payne. And DGAT Bundles, he recently, about a couple events ago, wrestled Matt Stryker. And Matt Stryker went on social media praising the skills of DGAT Bundles. I think right now that's going to be a match that people are going to watch and go, wow, I have to make sure I come to see every DAWG event in between because it's going to be that good.
Yeah, I was just watching on the YouTube page, Degret. He had some pretty strong words for Chris Steeler. So, yeah, you definitely, it's going to be a hard-hitting fight for sure.
Oh, yeah. See, PTS, Biggie Biggs, Chris Steeler, and Kyle Payne, they're dirty, they're nasty. I'm not a big fan of the tactics and the way they decide to go on things. But when it comes to talent, there's a whole lot of it in that faction. And it's going to be something I think the fans cannot miss. Chris Steeler versus DGAT Bundles is going to be one of those matches. Like I said, you're going to enjoy it. And speaking of PTS, Biggie Biggs, former World Wrestling Grand Prix heavyweight champion, the man who never actually lost that title. He had to forfeit for injury. He's taking on current champion William Huckabee. Huck and Biggie, they have a bitter rivalry that actually started when Huckabee defended against Chris Steeler. Biggie Biggs came out, attacked William Huckabee, and they put his head in a chair, and they jumped off the top rope, injuring the incredible Huck's neck, and things have continued since then. This is going to be I don't think it's going to be a wrestling match. There's not going to be a wrestling match. I pretty much say it's going to be a fight for the World Wrestling Grand Prix Heavyweight Championship.
Sure. You just alluded to it earlier, monsters in the title. These two guys are pretty big, and, like the words of JR, this is going to be a slobber knocker for sure.
Well, Biggie Biggs is not one of those ironic names. He's like 6'8", and one time he was over 600 pounds. But Biggie has slimmed down, has a whole new exercise and diet regime. He's only about 303 right now, which is still pretty big. But The big man now is a lot more agile. He's faster. He reminds me more of a Bam Bam Bigelow style. And William Huckabee, if you mix Apollo Crews with the Junkyard Dog, the old Junkyard Dog, pre-WWF, pre-cocaine junkyard Dog. That's who William Huckabee is right now. He is bad, and he wants to take his WWGP championship. He wants to defend it successfully, but he also wants to gain a modicum of revenge against Biggie Biggs.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, tension's running high in that one. But you alluded to Kyle Payne before. He'll be going up against Chuck Payne. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pain dealt in this match for sure.
Yeah, Kyle Payne turned against his brother. There's some jealousy issues there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family affair. Honestly, it should have been handled in probably a better situation. But Kyle's jealous because Chuck gets all the publicity and Chuck gets all the love. And I think Kyle thinks he deserves that. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be brother versus brother, one-on-one. Two brothers, the Paynes, are going to collide in that awesome match. It's not the first time they fought, but every time they're brothers, brothers fight sometimes. But I think Kyle Payne may have gone over the line right now, joining with PTS, and I think Chuck Payne wants to slap a little sense right into his brother.
Sure, absolutely. And then, another great match, the Irish sharpshooter himself, Killian McMurphy, is going to be in action. I just saw what he had to say. He had some strong words, right?
Yeah, the Shamrock shooter, Killian McMurphy, he is super talented. If you don't know who he is, you honestly should not be calling yourself a professional wrestling fan. And he's just going to be something special. You just know it. And he's taking on Ray Jazz. Now, Ray Jazz is a former NCAA quality caliber wrestler. I mean, like the scholastic amateur Greco-Roman, not Greco-Roman, but the kind you see in like colleges and the Olympics and stuff like that, freestyle and scholastic style wrestling. He's amazing. He's been training with a lot of the current NCAA champions who come out of Rutgers University, mm-hmm. and he's a star in the making. There's something special about Ray Jazz. And then obviously, like I've been telling you, Killian McMurphy is a star right now. Even if you don't know who he is, you really should. I have a feeling in the future that match is going to be headlining like big arena shows. You're going to see that like packed 20,000 seat arenas, and now you can witness the first time ever meeting between those two on May 25th at the Max Fit Sports Center.
Absolutely, a match you don't want to see, don't want to miss, and you have to be there to see. Another one of those matches for sure is Pat Shamrock. He's going to be in the ring as well, right?
Yeah, Pat Shamrock. He was injured and couldn't wrestle on the last event at Dangerous Drone Wrestling Gladiators. Dave Dahl and Dylan Mesh, they actually slammed his hand in a car door and broke his hand, and he was not cleared to wrestle. And Pat Shamrock has been fighting with Dave Dahl going back now, over a year. Well over a year. Probably a year in this past March. And they just don't like each other. And Dave Dahl brought in Dylan Mesh to try to handle him, and he brought in other backup, but he just keeps right now trying to just put Pat Shamrock out of professional wrestling. And Pat Shamrock's got some support. Glassboro's own Adonis Valero. Adonis had his knee destroyed by Dylan Mesh and Dave Dahl. He had reconstructive knee surgery. He's not cleared to wrestle, but he will be in Pat Shamrock's corner. And if Pat Shamrock beats Dylan Mesh, he gets 5 minutes, no disqualification with Dave Dahl. Dave Dahl is the probably most hated guy in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. People actually pay to see him get beat up, and they enjoy it. I think if Pat Shamrock can get past Dylan Mesh, I think we're going to see something very special, and you're going to see Dave Dahl get his comeuppance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talked about a rivalry become personal. That is one for sure. The other one I was watching JL Koto. I mean, she's been kind of killing it where in the Bronx and New York and stuff like that. But the champion there is she had some strong words for her as well. In Casey.
Oh yeah, Casey, former NWA World Women's Champion. Casey Carlisle, who currently holds 7 women's championships. She did hold 8. But she currently holds 7 women's championships. I believe she even beat up a man for a male's championship, too, not that long ago. Some people are talking about Becky 2 belts. Well, Casey was Casey 8 belts.
Yeah, kind of like the Ultimate Dragon.
Oh, yeah. She has a lot of gold in her collection, and she's defending the World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Championship a championship she's held over a year now, against mixed martial artist, the kickboxer JL Cotto. JL Cotto has been kind of making her name not only in New York, but in WXW under the Samoan banner. And she's something you're going to need to keep an eye on. But Casey Carlisle, she is the toughest, meanest woman wrestler. Some people need to have tournaments to call themselves classic, but she truly is a champion. And she's defended against and wrestled against some of the biggest name women wrestlers in the world. Again, a former legitimate world heavyweight women's champion for the National Wrestling Alliance. After she takes on JL Cotto, win or lose, she goes on the next night to go once again for the NWA World Women's Championship against Allison Danger. So this world-traveled competitor has a very impressive weekend. I hope she's not underestimating JL to look to regain the NWA World Women's Championship. But still, that World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Championship, she won that in a four-way, and it was a really tough encounter with some of the best women wrestlers out there, and she's been defending it all over the country, including on television in Washington and Washington State and in Portland, Oregon, and stuff like that. So that's going to be something you don't want to miss.
Yeah, two classic women, I mean, on the rise for sure in the independent scene. Definitely a can't-miss match. For sure. I mean, I'm excited for that one too. I mean, the women are killing it, and these two ladies are no exception. And for sure.
Well, people talk about the women's revolution. This is a woman's evolution. You're going to see I guess it's kind of a throwback to when women were the toughest athletes on the event, and I think you're in for something extremely special and one of a kind. Something you cannot. You need to get your tickets now. You know they're only $15. You can get them now at the MaxFit Sports Center.
Wow, $15, what a steal. I mean, you got all that, plus there's so much more we have to talk about in that. And that is absolutely, the Breaker. He's going to be in action as well. I mean, he does a tough match up against Steve, right?
Yes. Breaker Morant, he is an Australian-born, Philadelphia-raised professional wrestler. He's the current Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator heavyweight champion. He just recently came off a successful defense against Lance Anawagi, third-generation superstar. He's also recently defended against Patch, who is a well-known rival of Breaker for many, many years. He has, when he won the title, he defeated Dirty Money, who was the champion for over 3 years. He also held the interim title when Dirty Money couldn't make it because of a medical issue. He defeated Rhett Titus for that championship to become the interim champion, and even to earn the shot, he defeated former WWE superstar Sal Sincere. Breaker Moran is on a tear. It's a renaissance of his career. He's been around for a while, but he just now hit his peak, and everybody is now figuring out what we at DAWG know for a long time. Breaker Moran is a major superstar, and he's defending against Steve Gitke. Now, Gitke is a former one-half of the DAWG Tag Team Champions. In fact, he held that distinction twice. And he's looking to hold singles gold. But in any way, if you kind of pay attention to this match, it's kind of like the Breaker of today versus the Breaker of the future. It's almost like a mirror image, like an older, more experienced versus a younger, more faster and more vibrant version of themselves. It's almost like an evil mirror universe battle. And this is something is very intriguing. Imagine having to wrestle somebody who is a younger, stronger, faster version of yourself. You're going to have to bring out all that championship wrestling experience to be able to potentially even leave the MaxFit Sports Center with that Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Heavyweight Championship.
Sure, it's kind of like Shawn Michaels versus Jericho at WrestleMania, right? You have to be there for that to see that for sure.
I have watched Steve Gitke take on Adam Chandler, and that match stole the event.
Wow.
And so Steve Gitke versus Breaker, I think we're going to see one of those classic encounters of something that, again, Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators tries to bring something special to the area of South Jersey. Too many wrestling promoters book the same exact stuff with the same exact wrestlers against each other constantly. There's a lot of unique first-time ever matchups at DAWG and wrestlers you don't see other places. And even wrestlers that you do, they're wrestling people you've never seen them against before.
Sure, and tickets only start at $15, so So there's no excuse now.
Exactly. It's cheaper than a large popcorn at the movie theater nowadays.
Sure. That's absolutely correct. But here's the kicker, man. There's one more match that we got to get to, and that is Eric Martin versus Johnny Moran. I mean, that's the man himself. I had the pleasure of seeing him a couple weeks ago, Johnny, and what an athlete.
We actually have two more matches, but Johnny Moran versus Eric Martin is very interesting. Former tag team partners are actually cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something they've never wrestled against each other. They've always been on the same side. So again, a first-time matchup. Glassboro's own Eric Martin. He claims to be the greatest athlete or celebrity to ever come out of Glassboro. I mean, Corey Clements right now plays for the Eagles, and we had Gary Brackett, who used to play for the NFL. We've had former NBA players going back in the day. We've had a lot of professional athletes come out of Glassboro, and Eric Martin claims to be the best of them all.
Well, he's going to have to go through Johnny Moran to make that a reality, right?
Oh, yeah. See, Eric Martin is undefeated in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Moran, unfortunately, cannot make that. But this is a match that just gets very evenly matched up.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And anybody can come out as victor in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. I have a feeling we're in for an upset. We're going to see Johnny Moran defeat Glassboro's own Eric Martin and maybe humble him a little bit.
Sure. And you said there was one more match, right?
Oh, yeah, you forgot about the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Tag Team Championship match. As the Old School Empire of Patch and Vinny the Fixer take on the tag team known as Unstable.
Oh, wow. You got to be honest, man. I mean, this one can go either way, right?
Yeah, Unstable currently wrestle for the Monster Factory, but they've really started branching out and making a name for themselves. They've held singles and tag team gold in the Monster Factory. They're not as well familiar unless you're from the area. A lot of people may not know them, but they're super crazy and super talented and kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Old School Empire, all right, how to describe them. Vinny's the wrestler, the kind of like the enforcer of the group, and Patch is a lunatic. Imagine like a human version of the Indominus Rex with the personality of Robin Williams.
Wow. That is some pairing right there.
He is insane. He is crazy. The last Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators event, he actually came down to the song Fireball and started dancing with the kids.
Really?
Vinny wasn't very happy about it. Vinny's more like straight wrestler, and it doesn't show a lot when it comes to the fan interaction. But Patch, he's just got this weird cult following that people love, and I don't know if the elevator goes all the way to the top, but it doesn't stop him from being incredibly entertaining inside that squared circle and incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, it sounds like the Odd Couples for sure, but they make it work, right?
Yeah, they do make it work. I mean, there are a couple of veterans who've been around for a while. They've wrestled with some of the biggest names in professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And as a tag team, they really are making their mark. I mean, they defeated the Down Boys for that tag team championship. They had a successful defense against the Down Boys. They actually had caused James J. Dillon to help them. So that was interesting on that, how they persuaded that. And then they've had defenses against Primal Fear, which is currently wrestling for Ring of Honor Television. They've had defenses against two-time former champs South Philly's Finest. They defeated the Heavenly Bodies, who just came off of an appearance on Impact Wrestling before that.
Sure.
They had their wins over the Punk Rock All-Stars. They are on a roll, and they may be the best tag team in DAWG history. But if they do not pay attention and understand what they're against in the Unstable,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they will leave the Max Fit Sports Center with those tag team championship belts.
Sure, I mean, not a team to take lightly for sure. Now, Doctor, let me ask you this. You know, if somebody who hasn't been to a DAWG event, what makes you guys different? Why should people come out and see this event?
I know for a fact that I put way more attention into the minutia of a DAWG wrestling event. Most people put on wrestling shows. We put on events. We do something so whether you're 8 or 80, you have a blast. You're not insulted. You don't get 10,000 interviews, and you don't get guys who would rather do as very little as possible, but still, I mean, they give you everything they can inside that squared circle, but still entertain you. You're going to see unique matchups you've never seen before. When you do see wrestlers that may be familiar to you in the area, they're against people that have either they've never wrestled or in just in matches that are something special. You're not seeing the same old thing you're seeing in pretty much every other wrestling promotion that runs in this area. And then when you do get people from outside, like Huckabee, who comes from Atlanta, Georgia, and D-Gap Bundles, who comes from North Carolina, and JXT. Well, I didn't mention JXT is going to be there. JXT is coming from Australia, and we don't even know what he's going to be doing as part of this event.
Wow.
So you're just seeing people you don't see from around here in other places. It's going to be well worth your $15 or whatever you have to pay for a ticket at Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, because you get something special. Everybody who comes to a DAWG event absolutely loves it. We have this guarantee: if you do not enjoy yourself, we'll give you your money back. And I've never once had anybody ever ask for their money back. We get nothing but compliments for DAWG Pro Wrestling.
That's absolutely incredible. You know, I know people are going to be anxious to see this show, or this event rather, like you alluded to. But, I mean, you've also had some great legends come by too, right?
Yeah, we tried to mix it up so you don't just see the stars of today and tomorrow, but you're seeing the stars of yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to have all kinds of amazing talent in there. I mean, currently NXT, you're seeing Robbie E dominating over there. Gunner, who currently is wrestling for NXT, is one third of the Forgotten Sons. He's wrestled for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. Manu, second generation son of Alpha the Wild Samoan. He's also known as Alpha Jr. We've had Sanjay Dutt, who's currently working for the WWE in a producer role.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the Patriot. We've had Sal Sincere. We've had James J. Dillon. We've had third generation superstars, like I mentioned before, like Lance Anoa'i. Lindsay Dorado kind of cut his teeth here in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. Nunzio, also known as Little Guido from the ECW fame. Tony Mamaluke. You got to see wrestlers like Chance Prophet, who's been on TV for various different promotions. Dirty Money, former WWE developmental wrestler. You got so much different kinds of talent out there from the top to the bottom, guys who are making their way up. Oni Lorcan wrestled for DAWG, very first event. You had, again, and he's currently working for the 205 Live brand.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of wrestlers who started in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators who are now in the WWE or Impact Wrestling or maybe soon AEW, without saying anything coming up. There's a lot going out there. And, of course, like Casey Carlisle, who's a top-level women's wrestler, or just so many different talented professional wrestlers at DAWG. It's something like we always try our absolute very best to give the fans beyond their money's worth. My goal is to have an event so great, people give us more money because they want after what they already paid on their ticket. You know, they want to just give us more. But of course, I will never accept that because we want to give a value for what you pay. We want to have the number one wrestling promotion in South Jersey and do what we do for a reason.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, a lot of growth since the last time we spoke to where you are now, and it sounds like it's only going to continue. Lawrence, if people want to, you know, connect with DAWG or connect with you, you know, how do they stay with you on social media?
Well, they can actually look for me at facebook.com/Lawrence.Zirconium. That's my private account. Okay. There's also facebook.com/DAWG Wrestling, DAWG, all one word. You can go to Instagram. Our name is at DAWG_Unleashed. We are DAWG Wrestling on Twitter, or you can check out our webpage at www.dawgprowrestling. That's DAWG, dawgprowrestling.com.
Awesome. Wrestling. Can you just tell people again where this event will be and how much tickets will cost and start at?
Well, for only $15, you can go to the MaxFit Sports Center on Saturday night, May 25th. Now, the MaxFit Sports Center is 240 Delsey Drive South, not South Delsey Drive, because for some odd, weird reason that takes you to a completely different location. Delsey Drive South in beautiful uptown Glassboro, New Jersey.
Awesome. I mean, really, thank you for taking the time and talking with us here at Wrestling IQ 101. And,
I enjoy it very much. I'm glad you guys had me. I can't wait till you guys come down to see a dog wrestling event so you can be telling everybody how great we are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to be there for sure. But for us, we are Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is a must-see event. All the stars, some great matchups like we talked about just before. And we'll see you soon, guys, and be well.
Be well. Thank you again.